It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Friday, the 18th of June. I'm Michael Groff. Our big story remains the excessive heat, and that will continue to be the case through the weekend before a little bit of reprieve comes in here for next week. We'll also see an increase in moisture for a potential return of isolated to widely scattered showers and thunderstorms over the higher terrain. The question is, will we see any of those getting into the lower deserts by the middle part of next week? We'll talk about all of that and everything else in just a moment, but first, it's Friday, so that means it's Photo Friday here, where we take a look at some of the photos and or videos that you guys have submitted, and we have a lot of submissions this week. First up, David Parnell was in California. This is the Ventura Beach area. Took a nice shot there. And then another picture from between Ventura and Thousand Oaks. Then all of the wildfire smoke that we had around here this week led to some spectacular sunset photos, and we have several of those to share with you. First up, this one is from Beth in North Phoenix. Check out the red in that picture. That is cool. Then Pete and Sal have a few pictures. This one is from Sunday. Here's a shot of the sunset from Tuesday. And then they have one from Carlsbad, California as well. And that's a real pretty pic there. Then Maggie has some pictures from Northeast Montana, some supercells developing here. And we don't get to see those around here all that often, so nice to see. These are low precipitation supercells, and then a video accompanying these as well, showing perhaps the beginning of a vortice there. So that's always neat to see that. Then speaking of storms, we had some of those around here this week. Wednesday night, some isolated storms rolled into the valley. Needless to say, some people took some pictures and some videos of that. Kevin has a video of some blowing dust, a little bit of rain out there in the East Valley. The one and only Michelle has a video, and I think the best part about this is the audio. You can hear some thunder rolling off in the distance. I do miss the sound of thunder. That's really nice. And then Tyler has pictures of those storms from Wednesday as well, along with a couple of prolific lightning shots there. So that's really cool. So thanks everyone for submitting your photos and videos for Photo Friday. And if you want to get in on it, you can send your stuff to my email address, groffshow@gmail.com. That is groffshow@gmail.com for Photo Friday. All right, let's get into it first. Looking at the almanac from yesterday, if it felt especially hot, that's because it was. 118 degrees was the afternoon high. That broke a record for the date, and that's pretty rare territory for Phoenix. Only 20 times or so in history have we been 118 or higher. I've lived here for the majority of those. The morning low, 91 degrees. That also set a record warm low temperature for the date. The normal high, 105. The normal low, 79. Looking outside right now here just after 8 a.m., we've got clear sky out there, a little bit of haze, and we're sitting at 93 degrees at Sky Harbor. Dew point at 47, relative humidity 20%. The winds are light, and the barometer is steady. Temperatures this morning, 77 the cool spot at Fort McDowell. Otherwise, we are in the middle 80s to mid 90s through the metro. The upper air look has some good news and bad news for us. The good news is our sprawling, intense upper ridge is beginning to weaken. It's flattening out. The upper heights are coming down. The bad news is we're not really going to feel the effects of that until late in the weekend or early next week. So at least a couple more days of excessively hot temperatures before readings head back closer to average, which is still hot for this time of year. The watch warning map, we've got red flag warnings up north across parts of Minnesota, Wisconsin, into the western Great Lakes. Rather hot and unusually dry conditions up there. Dew points generally in the 40s and 50s with highs in the 90s, so wildfires could be a threat there. Meanwhile, for the Gulf Coast and the southeast U.S., flood and flash flood watches, and yes, tropical storm warnings for parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama, as our potential tropical cyclone number 3 out in the Gulf may briefly develop into a tropical storm. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Out here in the West, no such luck. We've got excessive heat. Our excessive heat warning for Phoenix continues until 8 p.m. Sunday. The convective outlook for today, an enhanced risk of severe storms, parts of Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio. And a couple of marginal risk. One such area is, again, over the Gulf Coast, out ahead of our tropical system. There is the potential of a few little brief spin-up water spouts or tornadoes, as is always a threat with any landfalling tropical system. And speaking of, this is potential tropical cyclone number 3. And it is making its way northward toward the Louisiana coast. It will turn toward the northeast across Mississippi, Alabama, and eventually weaken over North Georgia on Sunday. If this does develop into a tropical storm, and that's still a big if, this is a rather disorganized system this morning, but should it do so, it would get the name Claudette. And here's a look at precipitation. This is valid through next Friday morning from the WPC. No rain expected here in the valley, not a whole lot statewide, maybe a little bit over the higher terrain, and I mean just a little bit. And perhaps a few showers along our southern border as well. Moisture may start to increase toward the middle and latter part of next week. We'll talk about that along with our heat and everything else going on in detail as we get into modeling here. Here we go. This is the GFS, the 06Z run valid at 2 o'clock this afternoon. 594 Ridge continues to be the big story here across the southwest. Intense heat will roll on. Down at the surface today, mostly sunny sky, maybe just a little afternoon haze, courtesy of that wildfire smoke well to the east of us. But it shouldn't slow down temperatures too much. Highs this afternoon, again, 114 to 118. Another record-breaking hot day. Tonight, clear, very warm. Overnight lows in the 80s and low 90s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, very hot again. Highs 112 to 116. Our upper ridge does continue to weaken, but that's not much of a consolation prize for us, at least not yet. On Sunday, the ridge still weakening, troughing, developing along the west coast. The pressure gradient starts to tighten up, so a mostly sunny, breezy, but still very hot day. Southwest winds 10 to 20, maybe gusts to 25 here in Phoenix. But that's not going to be a relief from high temperatures of 111 to 115, but that should be our last excessively hot day, at least for a little while. Then on Monday, the ridge is now being suppressed to the south and east, troughing becoming more dominant, southwesterly flow developing, high temperatures 104 to 108. Same thing on Tuesday, highs 104 to 108. But our trough continues to deepen out there, and the GFS is even trying to suggest that we could see this closing off into an upper low with time. By Wednesday, that upper low or trough continues to sit to the west of us, high pressure to the east. The flow is more southerly. Some degree of subtropical moisture should make its way into the state. Isolated showers and thunderstorms once again developing over the high country. Here in Phoenix, partly cloudy sky. High temperatures remain 104 to 108 or so. And more or less the same setup on Thursday. We see a continuation of increasing moisture across at least central and eastern Arizona. Widely scattered showers and thunderstorms over the higher terrain. Maybe one or two of those start to make their way toward the lower desert. But it's still a little bit far out there. And when we're talking about an upper low and some of the moving parts involved here, I'm still not very confident in this solution just yet. We'll watch for at least some moisture on the increase here. Then a week from today, this is Friday the 25th. Very interesting setup here. We've got a ridge to the east and a very impressive ridge over the northeast Pacific. Upper heights around 600 decameters. And so between that is our upper low. So Arizona would be squarely under a southerly flow in this configuration. And so again, moisture around, widely scattered showers and thunderstorms, a possibility, maybe even here in southern Arizona for the valley. But we'll watch. And then as we go out 10 days, this is Sunday the 27th, and now we see our upper low retrograding to the west. Our North Pacific ridge is now becoming the dominant feature. The ridge to the east of us reconsolidating over the Gulf Coast. And so the flow aloft would switch out of the northwest if this verifies. But as mentioned, confidence in this solution kind of low. I don't know if we're going to see a full-on Rex block develop out here in late June over the East Pacific and such an intense ridge. But if that is correct, yes, we would see a return to excessively hot temperatures. Highs 110 to 115 for Phoenix, and the heat would extend up into the valleys of California, up into the Pacific Northwest, and dry conditions would be the story around here. All right, let's look at rainfall for Phoenix coming off of the GFS ensemble. This goes into early July, and the ensemble mean trending back toward 0.2 of an inch of rain, which isn't much, but again, here in mid to late June when it's typically so dry, that is interesting. And temperatures off the national blend of models, it's got us at 117 today. There is some guidance that has us at 118 or even 119. And And certainly the hottest desert spots of Southeast California and Southwest Arizona will push in excess of 120. Then temperatures lower a bit by early next week to below 110 degrees, but still above average. And that will remain the case for at least the next 10 days. And that's going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is scheduled for Monday morning. Of course, updates before that if necessary. If you enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, and click that notification bell so that whenever a brand new video is posted, you'll get the notice. Your comments, questions, and suggestions always encouraged as well. I thank you so much for watching. Really do appreciate it. You guys be safe, stay cool and hydrated out there. Watch your kids around the swimming pool. Have yourselves a great Friday and a wonderful weekend.